So, ladies and gentlemen, we have some news, we have some assassination of American citizens without a trial news, and it's always fun when news like that happens. It's always fun to find out when our president can assassinate us extrajudicially. It's always fun. You probably know about the program because we have talked about it a good deal before here on the Matthew Filipowicz Show, but for background, if you are unfamiliar, it is actually pretty simple and pretty horrible. President Barack Obama has claimed the right to assassinate American citizens without a trial, without charging them with any crime. He claimed this power unilaterally in the executive branch without any law being passed saying so, without any authorization from Congress. He did so in secret as well. The administration has not released the legal memos explaining their justification for claiming this most extreme of powers. But the deal is not has only President Obama claimed this power, he has in fact used this power at least 3 times against American citizens. That's what we know of. There very likely is more, but we know that there is at least 3 American citizens that President Barack Obama has killed without a trial. Early this week, Michael Isikoff of NBC News obtained a Justice Department white paper. What a white paper is, it's essentially a briefing document that supposedly is a summary of one of the memos that the DOJ wrote to justify President Obama's secret assassination program. Again, the actual memos are still secret, and the actual memos would actually contain more information, but this white paper is actually on its face quite horrible and quite frightening. Let's get right into it and dig into some of the most awful aspects of the white paper. According to the paper, again, which is by Barack Obama's Department of Justice, Barack Obama can assassinate you if you are a senior operational leader of Al-Qaeda or its associated forces. Now, what exactly does associated forces mean? What does that actually mean? Well, that's a secret, folks. That's a secret. But if the president says you're part of associated forces, then you are, and he can kill you without a trial. How do you determine if someone's a senior operational leader of Al-Qaeda or its associated forces? Well, folks, that's also a secret. But again, if the president says you are a senior operational leader of Al-Qaeda or associated forces, then in fact you are, no matter what. If he says you are, and he can assassinate you without a trial. Going back to the white paper itself, if the president says you are, he can assassinate you when, quote, an informed high-level official of the U.S. government has determined that the targeted individual possesses an imminent threat of violent attack against the United States, end quote. Well, I guess that's okay. As long as that high-level official is an informed official. As long as he's informed, that's fine. Because I would hate it if some uninformed high-level official was making this assassination decision, right? And at least we can feel good, we can feel safe in knowing that it's a, quote, high-level official, right? And not some scummy, ugly, stupid, low-level official, which is a low-level official, that is just the worst kind of official. If I am going to be assassinated without a trial, I want it done by officials most high. Let's go back to the memo, shall we? It says, imminent threat of violent attack. And that, on its surface sounds promising. It sounds like that they believe that these people need to at least be very close to pulling off something quite horrible. That's what it sounds like. However, once you read on into the paper, it's actually not the case. The paper goes on to state, quote, "The condition that an operational leader present an imminent threat of violent attack against the United States does not require the United States to have clear evidence that a specific attack on the U.S. persons or interests will take place in the immediate future." End quote. So apparently, the word imminent does not mean what you think it means. In fact, apparently now that word is actually devoid of any and all meaning whatsoever. Because there is no need to have evidence that will take place in the immediate future. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, they're really saying that imminent does not mean imminent anymore. Up is down, left is right. That is what they're saying. That the word that has an actual definition no longer has that actual definition. Let's get to some other fun and exciting parts of the Assassination paper, shall we? There's a great quote that says, quote, "A lawful killing in self-defense is not an assassination." End quote. I am sorry. I am so sorry. I should have gotten to this sooner, I guess. I should have gotten to this before I started my rant today. I am so sorry, President Obama. Here I've been calling when President Obama kills an American citizen without a trial or charges or due process. I've been calling that assassination. What was I thinking? It's not assassination. It's lawful killing. It's lawful killing. And it's lawful killing because... well, why is it a lawful killing? Is it because of some specific law? Is it some type of law that says that this killing is lawful? No! It's lawful because some jackass lawyer in the DOJ says it's lawful. That is it. According to President Barack Obama, all that it takes to make something lawful at all is for some lawyer to say it is. I wish this wasn't the case, folks. I wish it wasn't. I wish he wasn't going, full on Nixon. And if the president does it, that means it's legal. But that is what Barack Obama has done. Not a judge, not Congress, just some bloody lawyer in the Justice Department. That's all that it needs for something to be legal. Back when Eric Holder gave his initial assassination speech last year, we talked about it. He didn't call it assassinations, he called it target killing. Because, target killing sounds so much nicer than assassinations. He was asked, what's the difference between assassinations and target killings? And Eric Holder's actual reply was that assassinations were illegal. That is really what Eric Holder, our nation's leading law enforcement officer, said. That is literally, folks, like me shooting somebody in the head, and then when the police come to arrest me, that's like saying, wait, officer, wait. I didn't murder this man. Officer. I snuggle puppy rainbowed him. Officer, because, officer, murder is illegal, but snuggle puppy rainbows are magical. That is literally what they're saying. Words have no meaning at all to them, at all, to Barack Obama and his Justice Department. Let's get back to this paper. Quote, "This paper does not attempt to determine the minimum requirements necessary to render such an operation lawful." End quote. Well, there you go. They can actually assassinate you for less than a presidential decree. Why even have this paper if the bar is even lower than this? What is so sick about this whole mess is, and the thing that actually hurts the most is watching watching Democrats and watching some on the left who are literally bending over backwards to find ways to support Barack Obama on this. Seriously, you people, if you're backing Obama on this, really, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. You people ought to be ashamed of yourselves. But rest assured, if you think this is a good idea, if you think Obama killing people without a trial, killing American citizens without a trial is a good idea, you are not alone. You're not alone. You should feel good in knowing that, in fact, Karl Rove has your back. After he was on Fox News, and after slamming the media for their double standard of attacking Bush and his administration for their shredding of the Constitution and giving Barack Obama a free pass for his shredding of the Constitution, Rove said that he supports Obama's position, and in referring to one of the Americans that Barack Obama has assassinated without a trial, Karl Rove said, quote, "God bless President Obama for having the courage to take him out," end quote. So, Obama backers, Obama supporters, Karl Rove is on your side. Don't you feel good knowing that? Don't you feel good knowing that Karl Rove has your back? You know for a fact that if this was George W. Bush or Dick Cheney or Mitt Romney or Sarah Palin, you would be losing your bloody minds right now. And you know what? You would be right to be losing your minds. Where the hell are you now? Where are you now? There will be another Republican president someday who will then have these exact same tyrannical powers that Barack Obama has now, that he established now. There is nothing more extreme than the state taking a citizen's life without due process. Nothing. And Barack Obama has done that. And he has established the framework for all subsequent presidents to do just that as well. I mean, sure, this framework is a load of crap. It's clearly unconstitutional. I mean, the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution states that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law. It says right there, life. Barack Obama has ended the lives of American citizens without due process of the law. The last quote I want to get to before we move on about President Obama's assassination paper, to me is the most arrogant of them all. And it really goes to show what Barack Obama's Department of Justice thinks about our whole system of government, about our whole system of democracy, about the whole general idea of freedom and life and liberty. This is the last quote I'm going to read. Quote, "There exists no appropriate judicial forum to evaluate these constitutional considerations." End quote. I'm going to read it again because I want to let that sink in a little bit. Again, there exists no appropriate judicial forum to evaluate these constitutional considerations. Ladies and gentlemen, that is from the Department of Justice of President Barack Obama, a man who was, at some point, a constitutional law professor. They are saying we can kill whomever we want, whenever we want, without a trial. And no judge, no court, no one at all can stop us. In fact, you can't even make us talk about it. You can't question us. You can't talk about it. You can't bring lawsuits against this. Because no appropriate judicial forum exists to evaluate what we have decreed to you today. End of story. End of story. End of discussion. We can do it. You can't do anything about it. That is what he's saying. My friends on the left, there is nothing more extreme than this. And it pains me to say that. Nothing. And it has been brought to you by a Democratic president. We'll be right back.